All right. Hi, everyone. I think everything's working. Hi, Sean. Hi, Robin. Hi, everybody. Oh, who else is there? My eyes are horrible. I thought tonight I would try and tackle the bunny that I kind of see in this painting. I have it rotated. This is the one I worked on last week. And I still am not painting. I don't know what's happening. I just feel really uninspired still. So rather than kind of push through that, however, I do have a commission that I was supposed to start yesterday. So I have a feeling that's the reason I'm blocked right now. It's because I just don't want to do this commission. And when you see it, if it actually turns out, you'll understand why. I'm not going to say anything now. I don't want to jinx myself. But I did like my studio is so clean. I am trying to continue to do art things and continuing to post online and to tidy up my studio and organize canvases, do all the things that I never really get done throughout the year. I actually should be super responsible and somewhat do most of my taxes. That would just be fantastic. But I am gonna give this a go. I think it would be really fun to try and turn this into something, if that's possible, seeing how you saw me work on it last week. And this is really reality of how it goes sometimes for us creatives, is sometimes we don't feel very creative. And so I'm gonna get started and we'll see. Yes, the rabbit is gone. It's gonna be going. It actually it looks like a dragon upside down right now. Um, just making sure everything is okay. This is, I think, the first time I'm going live since my internet wire was cut. For all of you that have been with me since the start, you know how much trouble I've had with my internet connection. So I was pretty stressed out when the what have I done here? Pretty stressed out when the fence company went through the line. We can see the bunny, right? This is the bunny's feet, the bunny's bum, just a little tiny tail there. I see these as the ears and this as the face, and I don't know what that is. So I kind of rotated it a few times before you guys got on, and there's parts of this that I really love, and as we know, the dreaded thing that happens is when we love parts that aren't working and we try and save them is when we get stuck. And I think that's what's happening for me, is I feel like I'm stuck on some areas. Um, I really love some of this part here and I don't want to get rid of it, and I'm gonna try and break my own rule. I just think if I start adding something else in a different area, that I might be able to find my way through. I also feel like these need to be connected. So I might actually just start here. I don't like these. It's almost like I feel like I'm not going to get the name right. Some sort of dinosaur, triceratops or something, where it has these little spiky bones that stick up on their back. That's the vibe I'm getting from that. So I'm going to try and get rid of those, but not get rid of those. I'm just going to extend them out. And in order to do that, this is where you kind of have to think about, how did you get there in the first place? What did you have laying down? And so I would have started, if you go back to the very beginning of last week, I had some sort of this on here. only it was a different color. It was darker browns and greens and purples and mauves and whatever kind of color normally I have left over on my palette, I mix in. I don't want to waste that paint, and then I'll grab some empty canvases, unstarted canvases that maybe have already been primed with modeling paste, and I'll just lay it over top so that I'm not wasting paint, and then I'm starting another canvas in the process. So I am going to start with that. I do love my new island, I'm not gonna lie. If you have not seen it, please go onto my Instagram. You don't have to do that now, but if you are interested in seeing, I am just gonna move it back a little bit. I've kept the other one just because. It's not like I need it. But if shit hits the fan up here and it's just too cold during the winter, I at least have the option to have a second workstation downstairs. So I decided to keep it until I know. Same with the lights that I purchased, same with the RAM board that I purchased. It's just too risky to get rid of anything right now. And you would have thought that after I cleaned my studio and had my nice, beautiful new island, and everything all set up, that I would have been painting. I did work, I'm not gonna lie. I did do, what did I do? I had varnishing I had to do. I have another set of canvases that are going to galleries. So it's not like they didn't do anything, and that's a 2-day process for me. So I did do some work. I felt there just wasn't structure there. So this is good. So maybe it was Jan, I can't remember. I'm really bad with names. But when you're laying down an underneath color, you can make it whatever you'd like to be. I know she had asked a question on the Facebook page, what were the colors that I use? And it's very hard for me to keep track of what I use. It's just not something that I keep in my brain. Oops, that's too much color. Sometimes I use a blue base with my black. Sometimes it's like a warm base. Sometimes it's a cool base. Sometimes it's green and brown and black. Sometimes it's blue, brown and black. Sometimes it's violet, brown and black. Sometimes it's magenta, brown and black. It really makes no difference on what color you use for your undercolor, because it depends on how you paint, what your ideas are, and maybe the way I lay down my foundation isn't going to work for your style of painting. And if you don't have your style of painting yet, then that's something that you need to kind of work on. Again, I feel like there was parts of this painting that were laying too flat for me. I'm gonna fly down here, yeah. And so it doesn't hurt to build more structure into this painting. I think if I remember from last week, some of the things that I struggled with this painting or maybe I posted it in a comment somewhere, is that I felt it was too organic. There was too many curves and round edges that I didn't really like. I still am struggling because I can still see the bum of that bunny. I don't know why that bothered me so much, but it did. Often I find that one change, I say this probably a lot, but one alteration is gonna lead to another one. Whenever I change one thing, it makes me see the painting in a different way. It changes my eyes, how I focus on the painting. We also got, I'm noticing it tonight, the dampness. It just poured rain for like 2 days. And I tell you, my knees are a little sore. I don't normally get sore knees, but I think with all the walking and riding that I do, I really don't ride a lot. I really like run around the arena with my horse more than what I do in terms of riding. Maybe one day. So I feel better about what I'm seeing. It doesn't look it's not that it looks any better, I've just covered up some of the areas that were really bothering me. And I'm gonna try and see what else I can do. I do need to blow dry that. I have to figure out what can I unplug. I think I can unplug my heater for a bit. It's not running anyway, so I should be able to unplug that. I really, honestly, have to call an electrician. I see lots of typing. Stegosaurus. I don't know which one it is. I just know I don't want to paint dinosaurs or bunnies. Ooh. Sorry, I'm just thinking, I feel like this is wrong. Hold on. For some reason, the blow dryer trips the blow dryer trips the breaker. Okay, that was good. That would have been a catastrophe. Okay. I just saw a little piece here that needed a little bit more. Okay. Better. It's better. I like this island a lot better. It's got more room for me to paint on, which makes me very happy. I feel like I have so much to tell all of you guys. It's been a crazy week. Right color. It has been a crazy week. I am not looking forward to winter. I feel like those need to go too. And I think I'm going to probably get rid of pink. I'm probably not going to think about too much and just do. If I think too much, I'm going to freeze. And I'm going to overthink things. So, I'm just trying to shape that into something a little bit more appealing, I think. Just wasn't working for me. What I really want to know is how I did this overlay. That's what I really want. I really want to try and remember. I really very much like that part. And if I could figure out how to do that, I would be really happy with myself. So I'm going to try it and see if it works. So I feel like it could continue. Do a test. Test. I mean, I don't have to get it perfect. That's the thing. The underneath color had pink underneath it, so it isn't gonna be the same. If I really wanted it to be the same, like 100%, which really, I don't care. I don't care about it that much. There's just some really nice undertones of purple eggplant in there that really kind of are cool. But I could consider that for the lower level. Sorry, I'm in the way. I mean, it's not exactly the same. Oh, I really like that though. But this might be a few layers. If I hide some of it, so you don't see as much of the purple, maybe it won't be so noticeable. Or I should have just done that in the purple layer. Anyway, it is what it is. I can fix it, but in the grand scheme of things, this is what I always ask myself, or say to myself when stuff like this happens. No one's ever gonna know that I wanted this side to match that side. No one's ever gonna know that. I'm the only one that's gonna know that, and you guys. So it doesn't matter. Too much water on my brush. Ooh, God, you know I'm getting old when the knees are getting achy. I don't really like that. I feel like I'm standing in the way. I feel really discombobulated because I'm painting on this side of the studio, which I don't generally do. It's amazing how just a few things can throw you off. Okay, I need to blow dry. Oh, my brush is so full of water. I'm quiet tonight. I'm very focused. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm gonna read some questions, see if I can. I'm really concentrating. I'm like, I can't let it be 2 weeks in a row where I don't do painting. Okay, do I ever, oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. This is so much fun. Okay, do you ever paint without starting with modeling paste, just using paint and medium to add texture with collage? Yeah, I have done it both ways. It really depends on what kind of mood I'm in, what I'm working on. And then, like if I'm not experimenting, then I just kind of stick to the formula. And because on one end, this is a business and I have to make a living. So I can only play around so much and experiment so much because sometimes my experiments don't really work out. It's just more about keeping things interesting for me. So yes and no. Do I ever consolidate a whole painting with a glaze over? No, I don't do that. I don't have a no reason. I just don't do that. Thanks about the side Twombly. There's that comment there. Yeah, for Facebook and Instagram, I don't know whose it was. Maybe it was both. I did a video quite a while ago and I never uploaded it to YouTube. So I just did it the other day. So that's what they're commenting about. And hold on. Ginger, go on. Out you go. Make my way to. Cool. Heather so far sees lots of things in the painting that I'm working on. Looks like a building over water. You know what's really funny is I'm thinking there's Ginger. I can't have you just rubbing yourself on me right now. Like you're gonna step on you. I'm gonna step on you. Pause that thought. So in town here, where I'm living, there's a cool little event happening at the park down the road, or the locks, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And they are installing, I think it probably happened today. That brush just seen a better day. When you live in a small town, and something big happens, news travels fast. And so there was a massive crane in town, which is kind of fun because I kind of miss seeing the cranes in Toronto. I think a lot of people do see cranes in my work, like not bird cranes, but like building cranes. And there's the crane was to lift this massive bridge that they're installing over two parts of this park to cross over the water. And I see this as a bridge now. And so I'm gonna not play with it to turn it into a bridge, but that's kind of what I see, which when I started working on this with you guys, did I just do that? In order to get a bridge effect, it needed to be more quiet up here, empty up here, have this go across like a bridge, and then continue down here. So, when people ask me where does my inspiration come from, it comes from my day-to-day stuff. I'm very a visual in terms of everything that I do, how I learn, how I paint, things I see. I'm always assessing my surroundings. And I take in a lot of information that way. That really comes out in my art somewhere. I don't strive for it, it just happens naturally. I've said this quite a few times that I'm not one to take photographs when I'm on vacation. I really like training my mind, my sight, my memories to be captured by myself, really. So I like that so much better. So now I kind of have to figure out where else do I go? Where else do I go with this painting? That is not really a bridge, but is something else entirely. Do I want to continue? To me, I'm seeing that this part here should be gray. I'm not really liking, not gray, but it's kind of not really. That just looks better. And now I gotta figure out, it's not done at the top, obviously, but I'm gonna try and, sorry, I'm all over the map. Really should have taken an ibuprofen. I'm focused on the fact of, I can't believe how much my knees are hurting. It's just like, however, I am in a garage, and I was at the barn today. It's just, the rain that we got was crazy. Actually was outside quite a bit the last 2 days, so that could be very well why. I'm a little mad that it doesn't look like that. I'm trying to get over it. I keep doing that with my hand because I'm visualizing what I want that to look like. And do I want to continue? I think I do want to continue that. Let's see. If it doesn't work out, then I'll get rid of it. I'm so in such a Halloween mood right now. Everything I see is like, now I feel like this is Frankenstein in some sort of a way. Just keep building, keep building. Keep on building. A little bit more here, a little bit more there. Next thing you know, you got a painting. The question I have that I'm asking myself while looking at this painting is, do I want to continue this pink across? Or do I want to continue with an orange across? And then if I continue with an orange across just in this section here, what is this bottom gonna look like? What are my plans down there? I am lately into these little flat squarey things. I don't know why. There doesn't have to be a reason why. I just like this shape. I like squares. I always have. Geometrics have always been really fun for me to paint. So sometimes I experiment with what you guys saw last week and where I kind of just go crazy and just do whatever. And if it doesn't work out and I don't nail the painting, and I definitely didn't nail it, then I kind of go back to my more, not my signature, well, maybe I guess. Something that's familiar to me that I've done before. I haven't, like, this doesn't look like anything I painted in terms of colors and shape, but the shape is familiar to me. So I guess, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess I'm just painting. So I'm chipping away at that and I'm hoping that it will be revealed to me as to what I want to do with that. And now I'm thinking, now that I cut this bottom part out, I'm thinking I probably could make this whole section one color. And it's a question of what color. What color? I'm gonna stand back and I'm gonna think about that for a minute. Oh, I forgot my Facebook peeps. Hi, Facebook guys. Now, see, Susie, if I was in Florida or Colorado, my knees wouldn't hurt. Hi, Linda from Scotland. Daphne has a question. Whidbey Island. Where's that, Lisa? Because I love islands. Okay, what size of canvas would I recommend to new artists focusing one in creating a series? Focusing on, I think, creating a series. That really is a personal question, not personal question. That's really a personal decision. I have no idea what you paint in or what you're trying to paint. So I would say if you're trying to create a series, is have you, if you're a new artist, have you, is I think before you even go to create a series, have you created your look that you want to work on first? Like, not your signature style, but I think that, takes time to find, but have you created a style that you want to work in first before thinking of a series? I talk about that in my book. Not that you have to buy the book in order to hear the answer. I guess I'm just trying to figure out how far along are you? So there's no, I get asked this question a lot. There's no one size that really is the size of paint, and then that's gonna help sell paintings. Obviously, if you think in terms of price point, the larger you go, the more money the painting is gonna be. But then again, if you're just starting out, your price point isn't gonna be the same as mine anyway. So you could be a new artist selling a large painting for a cheap price. And people might like that. For me, if I did a whole bunch of little ones, I would sell those way more than I would sell a big one just because of the price. It's a lot easier to move a $300 painting than opposed to a $3,000 painting. So it's really, if you're trying to create a series, do the size that you're most comfortable with. Because creating a series of work is really a challenge to begin with. So you want to make that as easy as possible for yourself. And I guess most economical as well, right? Okay, that still leaves me north of Seattle. North of Seattle. That's where the island is. Seattle. I'm going back in here now and trying to add little areas of interest. So it's not just this flat area. Well, it's certainly not flat to begin with, but I'm just adding some highlights of areas. to make it a little bit more interesting. And because I still haven't figured out what color to do down here. Still haven't figured that out. I think I need a chiropractor for my neck. I wish if I could go back on this lower section and do this pink down there, maybe. I'm staring at it from a distance, So as that dries, you can see I'm bringing it down lower and lower. Green, neon, purple and orange. Where are purple and orange on the color wheel? Yellow and purple are opposite, but where's purple and, no, just do it. I'm doing it. I'm adding blue. I'm gonna do it. I was trying to avoid it, but I'm going for it. How could I not? Blue and orange. Right? How can I not? Blue and orange go together. I love blue and orange together. I do a lot of blue and orange paintings. I do a lot of paintings that aren't really colors that people really like. That's gotta dry, so I'm gonna blow dry that. take a little longer to dry in the garage. I found a place where I can add more orange. I think. I'm thinking. I shouldn't think that hard. Where is my orange? Do I want orange? Or do I want red? Red. Let's do red first. Let's see what happens with red. And then if I don't like it, I'll change it. Oh, my colors are dry. Oh! When I get to the bottom of the barrel, I have a tendency not to close my caps very well anymore. Bad habit. Don't do what Lori does. I'm just deepening that orange. And so, in order to do that, I want to add a bit of a dark red base to it. Sometimes you just gotta say, why don't I definitely take more risks when I'm not in the mood to paint, which is great. I find that's when I learn a lot. Ow. I don't know where I go. So cool. Well, I like that. It's hard for you guys to see that, but I can't really see because I don't have my screen right one. I don't know if you can see how the blue transitions into the purple. But it's pretty cool. I think it worked out all right. I think you guys can see that okay. Instagram people. I'm gonna bring you guys in a little bit closer because I thought I might work on two at the same time, but that never really happened. I mean, it's still a really boring painting, I'm not gonna lie. I can see that it's boring in some regard. It still needs more, but I really like that down there. I think that added a ton of fun stuff. It's just a weird painting. This is the kind of mood I'm in. It's been like this for 2 weeks. I'm hoping it goes away soon. At some point, I gotta get back to work. I normally used to panic when I would get like this. Because when you don't have a steady paycheck, working is very important. But I'm letting this I'm letting this one just ride. It is what it is, there's no point stressing about it. Something will happen eventually. I think I saw a question about the markers that I was using. I say this at least every week. And I don't want to sound like I'm promoting my Amazon store, but you don't have to buy it from the Amazon store. But you can see on my Amazon store, can't even say that right. My Amazon store. You think I was drinking tonight. Everything I use and like to use is all listed there. So I actually don't even know where to get the markers other than on Amazon, because they don't sell them in an art store, but I think they're called Markles or solid markers. So if you go to my website, I have a link. I have a page dedicated to all the art supplies that I use, and it'll bring you to the Amazon store. So if you're American, I got a link for all you Americans. And if you're Canadian, then you can use the Canadian link. And you can get them all there. So I hate the color of that pink. It's not the color I really wanted. So I'm gonna see if I can fix that. with a glaze. And the glaze is, I use a glazing medium. My dog's popping down here. I use a glazing medium and just a tiny pinch of a transparent color. And you have to make sure that the underneath layer is dry first. So there's something about the painting that I don't like. And I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. So that's not it. Okay. The struggle is real. Sometimes the small paintings are the hardest ones. I'm not gonna lie. Hold on. What did I do last time? Where is that color? This is what happens, is when I get stuck on something and I keep trying to not do it, and I know that I should just do it, so now I'm just gonna do it. That was a lot of da 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 da. I really want that purple in there. It was bothering me that I didn't have that undertone of the purple. I said it, you can go back and you can rewind. But I wanted that purple in there, and until I have the purple in there, I'm not gonna be happy. It's because I can see it here and I really like it. So this is a painting of me trying to correct things that I don't like. I liked some things here, and I want it on the other side. And I'm not going to be happy until I actually get it on the other side. At some point, I'm just going to probably paint over this whole painting. But maybe not. I might be able to salvage it. I feel like the dimensions, this is, again, I said this last week, when my creativity is stifled, my eyes don't see things the way I should to see things. And it's the proportions that I have in this painting that are bothering me. I feel like this should either be up here or down here, like this. If I could just pick up this band and move it down here, oh, I would be so happy. I would be so happy, but I can't do that. That's not how it works. I think if you remember, if you watch this video back, where I talk about, well, maybe I didn't talk about it, but I think I did, about saving areas. The whole reason this painting isn't working out proportionately is because I am trying to save this one area and make everything else fit within it. And that is the kiss of death every time. It's so frustrating why it has to be that way. It shouldn't be that way. It's not fair. It's not fair. There's no way I'm ever gonna get that to look right. I feel like my glasses are falling off my head. Do I have two pairs on? No. See, it just needs to be a little bit lower. Can you see how that one section that I was trying to preserve was holding back this entire painting? It was just too much. It was too high. It wasn't balancing it out. Oh, deep breath, deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. I think that's way better. I think that's way better. I got rid of all of that neon again, didn't I? That neon just doesn't. This painting does not want this neon in here. So I should tell myself to stop putting it in there because it's not supposed to be in there. Okay, I'm gonna see if there's any questions. It's still an ugly painting. Not gonna lie. When I look back at it, maybe Facebook, is it on a different side? Maybe I'm looking at it backwards. It's kind of messing me up. Oh my God. Why does it look like that? I'm live on everybody, right? Where is that? Why is it looking like that? I'm panicking. I definitely got rid of the bunny. There is no question about it. Oh, that's because I didn't. Oh, I thought I was panicking, going, "Oh my God, no!" Everything's good. Everything's good. This baby just needs some mark making. That needs another layer of white. I'm probably going to leave this side the way it is because I'm determined to leave some of that favorite part in there. But I just, I don't know, if I still feel this way next week, I'll start panicking next week. I'm going to give myself one more week. Like you can see how how rigid I am right now, and then I wonder why my horse is spooky. Well, gee, like how perfect is that square? Like why is it so restrictive? I never make a square a perfect square. It's just a weird little phenomenon that I'm in. I don't like it. I don't like it. So weird. I am also painting. I have Instagram too close. I have you guys way too close. Too funny. On a good note, I have a couple of good things that have happened, which I should be more excited about. Paintbrushes suck. If I just stopped leaving my paintbrushes in a bucket of water, yeah, they wouldn't be so waterlogged. The good news is Enbridge, the gas company, has approved my whole fence. If you guys know the story of that. So the shit part is that half my fence was built last weekend. And so my fence crew, the guys who built the fence, can't come back until next year now to finish the fence. But it's still great news because they first told me I was never able to fence in my backyard. I have a right-of-way easement and a main gas artery that runs at the back of my property. But this is why you should always do your homework. And I did my research on their own website with their own documents. And I found out that yes, you can cross an easement even when you have a main gas line coming on your property. And so they said yes, yay! So that's one good thing. And then the other thing is, Johnny moved up in the pecking order. And he is now number 2. There's only 3 horses in the paddock, but he has moved up. And so that's been kind of fun. I just noticed it today. I kind of thought something was different between him and Tonka. Tonka is the male in charge. And they, my boy has a very good personality. He's very well adjusted. I did get very lucky in buying him. I made a good choice. Actually, I shouldn't have bought him. The whole thing was a bad choice. But the other horse, so now what I noticed today when I took him out of the paddock, they were waiting for him at the gate for him to come back. So it's so cute because the bottom horse really likes Johnny. So now it's kind of like they're fighting over him because they all want to be close to my horse. I think it's so cute. You notice when I start telling stories and talking about other things that the painting kind of magically gets a little bit better. And I think that's just a classic sign that I'm too in my head right now. These are all things mindful that you should be aware of. That it's very hard to be present when you paint sometimes. Your best paintings will be the ones where you really weren't focusing on the work. Obviously, that comes later in life where you can paint without thinking. That's too low. So I think messing that up a little bit. I love this little line up here. I think it's so pretty. It needed to be messed up a little bit more. It was just too organized. I think with some mark making, potentially this could be a painting that I like. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm gonna have to see this with fresh eyes tomorrow. But it's definitely better than the bunny. The bunny had no place. And just this is like a total sidetrack. Last week I ran over a chipmunk and I was really devastated. I tried so hard to miss the damn chipmunk. But the way it jetted out, there was just no way I could. It's like it kamikaze, I don't know, is that a bad word? How it just plunged into my car. It decided to cross the road at the absolute worst time. And then the other thing was, I have one of those window wells a little bit. You know, when you're slightly beneath. The ground, so they'll give you a bit of a window well. And it's probably about 1.5 feet deep, 2 feet deep. And every now and then I would see a frog in there. Usually after the rain. But normally the frogs leave. And so the other day when I saw 2 frogs in there, I thought, oh, they're fine, they can get out. Because they always seem to get out, and anyway, they didn't get out, and now they're dead. And I feel so horrible. My tenant laughs at me, but I don't like to kill things. So then I walked past it again. I'm usually not in the backyard, right? Because I don't have a fence in the backyard until this weekend, or this week. And so then I noticed when I walked by again today that there was a big frog in there. So I saved him. I went and got my winter shovel, and he was able to climb on it, and I brought him to safety. So it's like, so I'm gonna see if I can find a way to maybe put some sort of a board or something on there. I think I'm gonna stop playing with it. I think I like it. I think I'm happy with it. I just needed a little, I felt almost like a counterbalance. This section was going on here, so I needed to balance it out with a bit of a lighter blue shade here. So it kind of has this little play, and I felt that this was, I love all the stuff going on in here, and if I didn't paint this myself, I would definitely go up close and wonder how the artist did that. I know how I did it, because I did it. I might make these little orange blocks just a little bit larger, but I'm definitely happy. I think that feels like a Mirabelli. I feel like I kind of finally got back to a little bit of who I am, sort of in there. I don't want to touch it anymore because for fear I could bring something back that I don't want to bring back to it. But I'm happy with that. Any questions before I sign out? Oh, let me see. Okay, you guys have a conversation going on. Thanks, Graham. I'm coming over. I put my glasses on. You guys are having a talk. Yes, the markers do resist acrylic paint, so I really try to, how I add them sparingly and really not to the end normally. This one I did go over with some of that neon yellow. Obviously I painted over that, but the way I the way I varnish is I go over with a first coat of gloss gel or gloss medium. So that kind of seals everything in anyway. That won't peel off, so it kind of, should I grab a knife and go in and scrape where that neon was, I could probably remove the paint over top of it, but you wouldn't be able to do that with the gloss medium that I add over top. So I'm not too concerned about anything peeling that way, but I wouldn't want to go crazy and do all these markers everywhere and then go over with acrylic. They are an acrylic base, but there's something in there that does resist the paint. It almost acts like a bit of a oil paint, even though they're not. That's about it. That's about it. Yeah, rest in peace, Bunny, for sure, Carrie. That's too funny. Bye-bye, Bunny. Yeah, you can see, to me, it looks like a naked painting, but that's all that I would do on that right now until I got my marks on there. Okay, everyone, I'm gonna end it there, and I'm gonna go take some ibuprofen for my achy knees. Oh God, getting old sucks. All right, thank you everybody for joining in, and I will see you all next week. As soon as I figure out how to end this, which I say all the time.